Hi, Sue here. For my next video, I wanted to talk about diet and weight loss and all the different things that we see. I think especially as women, because, being a woman, that's what I see when things that are being marketed towards us. And I have some examples here in front of me, and I'll be showing them up, trying to probably cover the names of the magazines, but you'll probably be able to figure out what they are, and the unrealistic things that magazines show us as far as weight loss. I'm going to start out by telling you that weight loss is simple. You have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. It's simple thermodynamics. Calories in versus calories out. If you take in fewer calories than your body burns on a consistent basis, you will lose body fat. If you consistently take in more calories than your body burns and are in a calorie surplus, you are going to gain weight. Like I said, it's very simple. That being said, it's not easy. Make that more difficult. What things do we do that don't revolve around food? You think about your birthday, that's got birthday cakes. Christmas, which just passed, or the holidays, whatever holiday that you celebrate, usually there's a get together with family and friends, yes, but it's usually revolving around food. Pretty much every celebration has a food aspect to it, and that's what makes it more difficult. It's something that you can do on a consistent basis, and I will tell you that one meal at Christmas time isn't going to throw you off. But, they say people gain like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, over the holiday. And that's because people sort of between Christmas and New Year's go, oh, well, it's going to happen, as opposed to just those few one-offs wouldn't do that. So let's dive into some of the things that I want to talk about today. Or I'm talking about those unrealistic things that we look at as far as diet and weight loss. And what prompted me is I have been doing some running because I'm in running forums on Facebook, and there's a bunch of Instagram and YouTube people that I follow that are runners. It was showing up over and over and over as an ad in my feed about a diet for runners. I won't specifically say what the site is, but their thing was there were people that were talking about how they hit their goal weight in 6 months and all this. Well, if you have 25 pounds to lose, or maybe even up to 40, yeah, that might be doable. But for somebody like me, where when I told them what my goal weight was 165 pounds, still told me that I could hit that in July of 2021. So 165 pounds in 6 months is not realistic. It's not doable. And that prompted me. I was at the store and I saw some of these magazines, and I've purchased them, and there are 3 that are bad, 1 that is actually fairly good, and I'll go over those. But to look at what it is that they're selling to us. Drop 25 pounds, dieting just 5 days. This one advocated something along the lines of eating plant-based 5 days a month and you would lose 25 pounds. That's all you had to do. 5 days, eat vegan, and you would be able to, the weight would just fall off. Like I said, calorie deficit consistently is how you're going to lose weight. Next one up, we even have a picture of Dr. Oz on here. I see his face a lot on these types of magazines. I don't know if he actually advocates the diets or if there's something else about him in the magazine. But this one was soup off 16 pounds every week. You can't lose 16 pounds of body fat a week. It's just not doable. This was basically repackaging of like the cabbage soup diet, which has been around forever, along with some intermittent fasting. And can you lose 16 pounds your first week dieting? Maybe, but a lot of that is going to be water. But 16 pounds every week is not sustainable. It's not something that you're going to be able to do. And I think that these types of magazines set people up for failure telling us this. And here's our next one here. This was, I think, this week's. Drop 24 pounds in 7 days. Again, not something that's doable, not something that would be sustainable. I did look at this one, and it looked like to be crazy low calories, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 800 calories on the little diet plan that they give you on there. Although it does say eat till you're satisfied, but what they were giving you was very low calorie, super low calorie, not something that would be sustainable. Would you lose weight eating like that? Yes, but it's not sustainable. It would be setting you up to go off track and on a binge, and that's not what I want to see for you. Like I said, consistently at a calorie deficit. How much of a calorie deficit, that's up to you, how much you're comfortable with. If you stick at a 500 calorie deficit per day, that's losing 1 pound a week. And losing 1 pound of fat a week, over a year, you're going to lose 50 pounds. And that's amazing. My goal, I think this year, I would like to lose 50 pounds. Because I want to do it the right way. And I know that it will take longer than I want. It's going to be harder than I want. Do I wish that I could do soup, eat some soup, and I can lose 16 pounds a week and I'd be at my goal weight in 10 weeks? That would be amazing, but that's not realistic. And here was one that I really thought was going to be, when I grabbed this one before I read it, I really thought that this one was going to be the worst of the worst, because it was talking about celebrities and stuff like that. And this one is Us Weekly, and I'll actually give them the shout out, was Diets That Work, and 20 plus stars secrets inside. Well, they list, a number of different people. I picked out 3 that I want to talk about. And there's a side point on one of them why I picked out the third one. The 2 that I picked out were people that were around my age. First up was Halle Berry, 54 years old. And on there it talks about how she's for years has been eating a low carb, healthy fat, sort of a keto style diet. So she eats a lot of vegetables, a lot of meat is what it says in there. Lean meats and vegetables, and her exercise of choice is mixed martial arts. So that is something that for some people can be sustainable. Other people, the carb restriction would be too much. You don't have to be on a specific diet to lose weight, because I'll mention with the next ones how the diets are different. There's no magic in any one diet. I'm not going to sit here and say you need to eat a keto style diet, or you need to eat a vegan style diet, or you need to do whole foods or paleo or low fat or anything. Whatever diet is sustainable for you, and that's what the research has shown out over time, is that the diet that you'll stick with is the best diet for you. Next celebrity in there that I wanted to talk about was J-Lo, who is just a little bit older than me at 51 years old, and it mentions that her favorite forms of working out are dance cardio and HIIT training, high intensity interval training. And both of those are excellent forms of cardio to get that heart rate up. Excellent for cardiovascular health, as well as the one mentioned before, the MMA. All of these things that are going to raise your heart rate, going to have you moving, sweating, breathing hard, are going to be excellent forms of cardio for you. And on there it mentions that she avoids processed foods and alcohol. So that isn't even a specific diet type that she follows, but I mean, that is certain things that's saying, okay, eating more whole, natural foods is going to put you in a better frame of mind, being able to stay in shape better. And now I know that all of the women that are listed in here, most of them have personal chefs, personal trainers, all of those things, and that's wonderful. I mean, if you can afford those things, that's great, but these are still things that you could implement on your own. The third person that I wanted to mention is because there was something that it mentioned in the article about her and her workouts, even though she's far younger than me, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pronounce her name right, because I'm never actually sure how to pronounce it. Gal Gadot, who stars as Wonder Woman in the movies, and it mentions when she's not working out 6 hours a day to be in superhero shape. So that was the side note that I wanted to talk about, when people are afraid to work out, women saying that, they don't want to work out because they're afraid they're going to get bulky or look like a man. And that is not something to be afraid of. It's actually ridiculous to be afraid of. No one is going to accidentally pick up a weight and look like Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger or any insert bodybuilder here. That does not happen. There is just a limit to what the female body can do due to hormones. And the women that you see, that look very muscular, very bulky, that is done intentionally with a lot of hard work. It's not just hitting the gym for an hour or 2 hours and diet. I mean, it is an entire lifestyle that leads women to be able to achieve that kind of physique. But on there, it talked about that when she's not doing that 6 hours a day to get to that shape to where she looks like in the movies, she likes to do TRX or paddleboard. Again, those are excellent exercises for you. And she follows a Mediterranean style diet where it says specifically that she eats a lot of fish and a lot of salads. So, the three people that I talked about there do have very different exercise styles and diets that they follow. And what works for you, what works for them may not work for you. What works for you is something that you're going to be able to be consistent with. As we go forward, I'm going to show you some of the things that I do. I would also like to look at some of the fitness trends and diet trends, through the ages with you, and as well as probably some physique updates, some workout updates, some house updates, because we're doing all that stuff because we're starting over, and that's like the focus of my channel is going to be, Sue starting over, and so getting in shape physically, financially, as well as the environment around me. So thank you for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe. Leave me a comment if there's anything you'd like to see me talk about or see some things in upcoming videos, and I'll do my best to make it happen. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.